Halo Campaign Evolved is a remake of Halo Combat Evolved and the newest game by 343 Industries. Halo Studios. I'm a frog who loves Halo, especially the original CE, so I thought I'd give the remake a shot. And what better way to experience a new Halo game than by jumping right into it on Legendary? This is mostly just gonna be a fun video, but I am gonna mention things I like and dislike while keeping in mind that my first playthrough was on Legendary.
Yeah, dude, Campaign Evolved sucks. I just kept dying over and over.
Time to find out how fun this remake is. Let's hop in. We start by going to the new beautiful Pillar of Autumn, commanded of course by our old friend Captain Keyes.
Cortana, all I need to know is did we lose them?
What the fuck? We also get to hear from the new Sergeant Johnson, who stares at the camera like I just said something out of pocket on Family Feud. Cortana tells the crewmen to execute Order 66, Master Chief's cryopod opens, and the game truly begins with me talking to Sam and Tom, spelled T-H-O-M. Yes, frogs can read. This is a change right off the bat that I like. In the OG on Heroic and Legendary, you just run straight out of this room. Here you still skip all the tutorial stuff, but also get to see Sam get killed. Rip homie. At least I still have Tom with an H. Alright, I followed a kangaroo marine to the bridge where I met Keyes and one of the Cortana models of all time.
Make sure my daughter gets this.
No problem, I'll be sure to clean the blood and brain matter off it first. It may be my first time playing this game, but headshotting grunts is a skill that transfers across all the games. Lots of you probably know that I'm really good at the original game, so you may be expecting me to just breeze through this. If you haven't played it, let me be clear, this does not feel or play like the original. Anyone saying shit like it's the same game just with better graphics either hasn't actually played it or is the video game equivalent of tone deaf. Get punched, idiot. Instead of overshields instantly working, they're now a pickup that you can save and activate whenever you want.
That's a Covenant overshield. I've created an interface patch that will let you use the device to augment your shields.
Thanks for explaining that, Cortana. I don't know how people figured that out for themselves in 2001. I opened a door when I didn't have shields and got greetings from an elite, leading to my first death of the playthrough. This definitely won't be my last. Get stuck, idiot. I do like the pistol, it's fun to shoot, and I'm glad to see the plasma pistol is useful for more than overcharges. I made it to the stair room, which I think in the original is the toughest room in the level. My strategy is to just rush upstairs and start sticking the elites. The problem with that strategy here is I'm not good at this game yet. Maintenance tunnels, I need the flashlight. That was not the flashlight button. I worked my way through the last couple hallways, ridding the Pillar of Autumn of all split-lip life before boarding the final lifeboat and plotting our course for the Halo ring.
You sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine, but what about the Marines? After crash landing, I explored the new environment, went to the waterfall, and took my weekly shower before getting ambushed by the Covenant, but it's nothing I can't handle. I die. The elites in this game seem way more aggressive than the original. They never really rush you in the OG unless they have a sword or a low health, so that's something for me to adjust to. I'm gonna grab a plasma rifle so I'm not just noob comboing this entire playthrough. Let's go back to a plasma pistol.
I'm reading a lifeboat beacon over the next hill. We should check to see if there are any survivors.
Cortana, great to hear your voice again.
Wait, I thought Cortana was just saying that to me. Does she broadcast all our conversations for anyone to hear?
Just keep your head down. There's two of us in here now, remember?
Cortana, great to hear your voice again.
After rendezvousing with Steve Harvey, I played this like I would in the OG by rushing the first dropship because it's typically easier to pick them off immediately rather than camping and letting them spread out and start attacking you from multiple directions. As I was saying, I stayed back on top of the structure and killed the Covenant from afar without having any more deaths. One weird change I don't like at all is that the last 3 enemies in every encounter are given a marker so you know exactly where they are. One of the fun things in the OG about this encounter specifically is not knowing who's still alive, searching around and getting jump scared by a red elite. I can't find any pistol ammo. You know what that means.
All right, ladies.
Marty, he's killing the Marines.
Nonetheless, it's time to warthog all over the place. Fun fact, the only time I've ever been demonetized was on my cursed Halo video because YouTube's AI misheard the word warthog as a slur. I have no idea what slur it could have thought warthog was. After once again falling victim to the newfound aggressiveness of the elites, I activated a light bridge. Unlike the original, there's no cutscene that plays here for the light bridge, which I think is stupid. It's a short moment that adds mystique to the area. But sometimes in the original you can accidentally skip it. Correct, in the original the cutscene only plays 99% of the time as opposed to the remake where there's a cutscene 0% of the time. 343 fanboys on Twitter aside, I can now go to the second half of the level where I was tasked with rescuing Marines. Except right off the bat, you're given waypoints for each area rather than having to explore and find them yourself. My 2 biggest complaints with this game to this point are, the voice acting is terrible.
Keep your head down. There's 2 of us in here now, remember?
And it's way too handholdy. This is just another example. I'm looking for a sniper rifle, instead I found a crab. The cliff is my favorite area, specifically because I love sniping the elites here, although I'm a bit disappointed to learn headshots are not a one-hit kill on blue elites on Legendary. After killing all the Covenant, I headed to the rock area, which is basically the same as OG, except now there are Jackal snipers. At the final area, I just got out at the entrance and sniped the bad guys from there. You might call this cheap, I call it fun. As the 19th century philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, if you ain't cheatin', you ain't trying. After killing everyone, rather than being able to run around and explore, then boarding the Pelican yourself to trigger the end cutscene, it plays automatically. My best guess is for technical reasons, despite this game coming out 25 years after the original. Either way, the Covenant has stolen the captain's keys, and we need to board the Truth and Reconciliation to find them. I tried out the night vision, but I don't like how it looks at all, so I quickly turned it off. Regardless, using my sniper, I massacred the Covenant even though I wasn't very stealthy. The sniper is a power weapon, but even more powerful in Campaign Evolved are Jackal overcharges. Gotta be stealthy. Get back, smacked, idiot. I was baited! Well, to save a snipe, I'll often overcharge an elite before just sniping them once. I think that was an overcharge kill too. Take my time, kill the grunts. What? Hold up. There was a Jackal above me. That was another overcharge. At least that death was to something new. So yeah, this level is known as being really hard in the original, and it definitely still is here. Or maybe I just suck. And that's before I've even gotten to the lift, where for some reason guys started coming down while a dropship was also incoming, so I was a bit worried about getting surrounded. This was compounded by me killing everyone in the first wave except the elite, which triggered another wave to start dropping, and I got insta-killed by another Jackal overcharge. I dealt with this area by running away and doing the old 300 strategy of holding a choke point. Then once I was caught up on the previous waves, I went right under the lift and started grenading the new waves as they dropped. Unfortunately, we now have hunters. I just gotta get them to swing at me and get around them.
Worm bits.
That did not go how I wanted. In the OG, you can one-shot them with the sniper, and even in later games where they're buffed, it's still not that many shots, so I figured the best course was to try to snipe them. The first one didn't die until I had landed 4 shots on the orange. With sniper ammo limited, I tried using the assault rifle, and this I actually found to be easier. Covenant ship, I am in you.
Stealth elites, watch your motion tracker and look for distortions in the air.
I got it under control, Cortana. I played this the same as I would in the OG by rushing every wave, overcharging and headshotting the elite if there is one, it's random, and continuously swapping for new plasma pistols. I got through this wave fight deathless my first attempt. It's not too bad if you just go fast and don't let yourself get surrounded. The hunter fight was not as easy. I thought I'd try using a needler on them just to see if that worked better, and spoiler alert, I died a ton. So I went back to the assault rifle, which worked like a charm, especially once I started adding melees in. This seems like the best way for me to kill them outside of like the tank or rockets. Alternating melees and shooting was something easy to land shots with. I grabbed an energy sword because I knew you people would yell at me if I didn't try it at some point, but after slashing a couple grunts, I dropped it again because I don't think it feels good at all. I was saving an active camo pickup for this hallway, but I guess I don't understand how camo works because these guys saw me immediately. They probably overheard Cortana on the radio saying to look out for stealth enemies. I still wasn't great at the game at this point, but I was definitely getting more of a feel for it and playing better. Although I'd still have my moments where I do stuff like stand directly on a plasma grenade and not realize it. In an effort to save sniper ammo, when I got to the hangar, I used a random beam rifle I found instead. It works about how you'd expect. I had 1 death in the hangar, but that was it. I expected this to be the hardest fight. Maybe I am just that cracked, i.e. unemployed, but I didn't think it was that bad. After leaving the hangar, I was blessed with Johnson by my side for the rest of the level. I picked up an SMG just to try something different, fought my way through the hallowed halls and other cliche alliterations, grabbed a bit of floating ammo, and killed everyone on the bridge. This brought me to the prison, which is really the first area in the remake that's completely different than the OG. Instead of just hallways, there's kind of a hub room with a few different doors to choose from that lead to different cell blocks. The first I went to had a grunt in a cell. Leave a comment for what my new grunt friend should be named. I also found my first terminal for whatever that's worth. Second cell block, no keys. Third cell block. The Covenant guards are using some kind of stealth armor. Thanks, keys. Oh, and with the markers for the last 3 enemies, the game is now highlighting them for me. This is getting memed on a lot now, but I would like to submit my Twitter as evidence that I was one of the first people to point out how stupid this is. I rescued Captain Keyes, Germa told us about Halo, and Keyes gives us a new mission to launch an assault on the control room. Escorting Keyes out of the ship is significantly easier in this game solely for the reason that Keyes dying doesn't reset you. He can die, but he just gets back up after the enemies are killed.
stealth elites.
Cortana, I got it. Okay, I blame her for me dying. I was distracted. Chief gets double teamed by worm people before Keys kills him to death, and that was the longest level for me so far by a mile at about 75 minutes.
The Covenant believe that what they called the Silent Cartographer is somewhere under this island.
More like the Silent Cartographer. The Covenant have decided to invade a beach, and this remake of an iconic mission begins with us storming said beach like it's Normandy. Did World War II rip off Halo Combat Evolve? After standing on the beach for a minute while I checked the mail, I got to drive a Warthog around the island, which leaves tire tracks in the sand. This is cool, but a strange detail for them to focus on while also using copy-pasted animations from Halo Reach. This level was in all the demos that have come out over the past several months, but I didn't get any of those, so this is my first time playing it. And I can see why they were using this level to promote the game a ton. It's the best looking level to this point, and it's pretty fun to play. They took out the ramp going down on this side to the beach, so instead I drove through a rock tunnel where I found my first skull, Bandana. I'm not going to use skulls this playthrough, but I thought I'd mention it. They also took out a tree blocking you from just driving the Warthog up here for some reason, which made killing the elites and grunts easier, but not so much for the hunters. I just camped back here and shot them in the kneecaps. What is bro doing? After getting murked by yet another Jackal overcharge, I bullied a couple more hunters, unlocked the Silent Cartographer security system, and had a correct hunch that there'd be a secret terminal back here. I fought a couple stealth elites, but Cortana didn't tell me to look out for them, so it took me several attempts before I even realized there were invisible elites. I don't know how they expect you to handle this without Cortana telling you what to look out for. Die, Jackal. Do I even have to say it? Get punched, idiot. I fought my way down the facility. Oh look, another Jackal that's gonna overcharge me. I didn't die. Let's go. I learned that hunters don't like campers. Alava said before this game came out about the Forerunner structures and them being too clean and pristine and stuff. By me too. I think the aesthetics are worse than the original structure, but it's fine. Like, playing this, I wasn't distracted by ugliness or anything. I was worried that it would, like, hurt my eyes to look at, given that I'm a nerd who wears glasses. I found the cartographer. Cortana waved her hands around and located the control center, and it's time to make my escape. Oh my god. The only problem with the escape is there are lots of jackals, and you know what that means. Shoot some stealth elites, time to enter the manhole and leave the beach. I would have been your daddy, but John McCain beat me over the fence. After sending an elite flying, I fought my way to the first room, died. I would have been your daddy, but I wasn't in a committed marriage with your mother. I shot the elites to death this time, killed the bad guys in the first room, and made it outside to the bridge. To my surprise, a Banshee flew directly at me, so I overcharged it. I threw a grenade because I was just trying to blow it up, then I realized, oh wait, I can hijack it. I killed myself with my own grenade. So much for Banshee grab. I love Assault in the control room in the original, and I don't share any of the complaints about repeated rooms or it being too long or whatever. That being said, I have the awareness that a lot of people disagree with me, and I think a completely understandable change in this iteration is some of the rooms are taken out. Like here, you take an elevator down to the ground floor. In the OG, you have another room to fight through. In this version, you just go straight through a hallway that takes you outside. I have two things to say here. One, I think the snow looks beautiful. This is a fantastic looking environment. I love it. Second thing, more hand-holding.
It's risky, but if you get close, we can hijack that Covenant vehicle.
Focus M. Bowser's got the power stars, and you know what that means.
I think this at least makes more sense than the other cases of hand-holding so far, but still, it's too much. Marine, get in. Get in the Warthog. In the Warthog. Marine, get in! Get in! This comes up a lot in my live streams, not sure if it's been in a video, but I hate the tank in the OG game. The cannon and machine gun are way too inaccurate. I love the tank in every other Halo game, and they didn't mess it up here. I think this tank section is a big improvement over the original for the sole reason that the tank isn't horrible. In the middle of the tank section, I went into the big rock tower because I was like, surely they hid something in here, and I didn't find a skull, but I did find another terminal. Back on foot with a lot of Covenant vehicles, I ran out of rockets, but what they don't tell you is that the sniper can obliterate them too. In the OG, I go through the remainder of this level with Sniper Magnum, so that was my plan here until I picked up a Needler for a lone elite just to try it out. Along with flat out removing rooms, a lot of the rooms that are still in the level are pretty redesigned, like this one that adds a second floor and light bridge going across it. Just, they're trying to make it more interesting. I don't think the rooms in the OG get repetitive, but I might just be weird, fair enough. While clearing out the bridge, I was gonna take a second to backtrack for ammo, only to realize they locked the door behind you. My guess is this is for some technical reason because it makes zero sense otherwise. Either way, it's stupid. Backtracking and exploration are good. Okay, I'm low, but that elite's gotta be low too. I gotta go get him. Up! My next life, after missing one shot, I hit the most clutch shots of my entire life. The name's Blitz, Mint Blitz. Nothing can stop me now. There was a rocket launcher in this room that I didn't pick up. I went outside and Hunter spawned on the opposite bridge that I had completely forgotten about, so I turned to go back for the rockets, only to learn this door had locked behind me as well. After getting completely nuked from orbit, I thankfully respawned where I could go back for the rockets. Oh no. Well, he's not even dead!
Look, Covenant Banshees. We can use them to fly straight to the control structure. Don't let anyone else touch them.
There is literally zero reason to explain any of that. Just let players play for themselves, please.
The entrance to the control center is at the top of that pyramid structure.
Oh my god. I killed the Covenant inside the big doors and made it to the control center. Cortana turned big and gold and showered the chief with information before discovering something terrible.
There's no time! Get out of here! Find keys! Stop him!
It's remarkable how every single re-recorded Cortana line is worse. We're on to the level that I'm sure a lot of you were waiting for. This is where Halo turns into a horror game. I saw some people criticizing this environment. I think it's great. I think this is 3 consecutive levels where the outdoor environments all look fantastic. You can tell they were mindful of the criticisms people had for CE Anniversary. The entrance of the structure doesn't look as creepy without the eyeball lights, but I'm nitpicking. Blood smeared around, we like that. This hallway, I wish they used more light blue blood decals instead of dark blue because it stands out better, but again, nitpicking.
You're not turning me into one of those things!
The crazy Marine.
I'll blow your brains out! Get away from me!
Buddy, what are you aiming at? Eventually, I killed him for his pistol ammo and was greeted by the That's Just Wrong skull, my second of the game. Chief finds a creepy room, this guy is doing the face from The Ring, everyone's fucking dead, and we watch a found footage horror film showing what happened, which visibly frightens Master Chief. It's popcorn time, ladies and gentlemen, and after a couple more minutes, it was combat form time. With nary a shotgun in sight, I was not equipped for this fight at all, and nothing is more tragic than finally killing a combat form only to see it get revived by a popcorn. Oof. I was given a waypoint for where to go, and this continued throughout the entire facility, which I hate. Yes, it's easy to get lost in this level in the original. That's the fucking point. On the bright side, I found a shotgun, and it's magnificent. This is probably my favorite shotgun since the original game. The Flood are what I was looking forward to the most in the remake because this is where I thought the remake had the most room for improvement over the original with the benefit of new technology. This kind of thing is exactly what I was hoping for. I love seeing how the Flood alter environments, and the idea of this facility getting more hellish as you make your way down is great. Too bad there's a waypoint! Some smartass in the comments will be like, you know you can just turn off waypoints, right? Yes, but 2 things. 1, I know where to go. It doesn't make a difference to me if they're on or off. 2, they're on by default. 99% of people are just gonna leave them on. New players playing this for the first time are gonna have waypoints on. You're supposed to be scared and lost trying to navigate this maze of a structure. All that being said, I did find this to be very fun, and I think the changes to the environment add a lot. It makes this scarier and really emphasizes the tonal shift of the game. I just wish it wasn't a modern game that feels like it needs to hold your hand. I took an elevator back to the surface, fought through the swamp with my marine friends, and kept several alive for the holdout fight to end the level, which I found to be decently tough. Foehammer shows up, Halo Studios' Guilty Spark says not so fast, and I get teleported to the most interesting level in this entire remake, the library. The reason I call this the most interesting level is because this is far and away the level with the most changes versus the original. The basic objective is the same, a lot of the dialogue is the same, and you make your way through 4 different floors, and some of the hallways look like they draw inspiration from the original, but by and large, this is a completely new level. The design is very different from the original, which makes sense. The original library is widely considered the worst level in the game, and pretty much all the criticism boils down to its repetitive level design. This version goes out of its way to keep things more varied and interesting. And once I grabbed a shotgun, this turned into maybe my favorite level in the entire game. It was definitely my favorite to this point. And with how critical of the remake I've been to this point, I wasn't expecting to soy jack over a level this hard. One addition I've seen be controversial is the addition of tank forms. There's no other pure form variants, just the tank. People have been critical of that, like, doesn't Halo Studios know there's 2 other variants? The range forms are the worst part of Halo 3 Flood, and without that form, the crawler form doesn't matter. Personally, I like the tank forms. They're basically a mini-boss, and I think the Flood benefit from the additional variety. This is a room where you may be wondering what room from the original it's supposed to be, and the answer is none. Like I said, completely different level. What's that glowing Flood? Alright, I picked up a Sentinel Beam for about 2 seconds before dropping it again after seeing it looks like the Infinite Sentinel Beam. I've decided the best Flood loadout is Shotgun for combat forms and either AR or SMG for infection forms. In the original, I'll go Shotgun Magnum for this level. Just like 343, this level becomes more hellish as you go through, which I like a lot. This is great. The 4th floor is very short and is basically just a giant rectangle of hallways from the elevator to the final door where I had a holdout fight, which was the toughest part of the game for me to this point. 2 tanks spawn in as well as a bunch of other Flood, and rather than staying put, I had no choice but to run through the halls, but they spawn in Flood wherever you go, so as I was trying to run and gun the tanks, I was having other guys attack me from the front and the back, and I was getting overwhelmed repeatedly. I died here a lot. I didn't do anything different when I finally made it through, I simply played better. If this game had the original's gameplay, that would easily be my favorite Flood level ever. Either way, I thought that level was great. After listening to more terribly directed re-recorded Cortana dialogue, it was time for 2 betrayals, which I was very curious to see after seeing how they completely changed library.
We have to destroy Halo.
There's a railing there in the OG. To start the level, it's pretty much identical to the original outside of not following OSHA guidelines. You get attacked by Sentinels immediately, then there's this fight between Sentinels and Covenant, and you battle your way down the pyramid before commandeering a Banshee. I ran to the pulse generator and stood against it for a solid 10 seconds before Cortana told me that in this version, you instead have to blow up 3 power cores hidden around, and by hidden, I mean marked by red markers. This level is a lot closer to the original than Library for sure, but with the changes to the room layouts and Assault in the control room, plus the environmental changes now, this level from this point on is pretty different too. Now I get to see how elites deal with the tank forms. It's bridge time. What are my legs doing? As much as I like this callback to the original, I feel like actually seeing them infect a couple elites would have been cooler. Editor's note, since the Flood were based on Halo 3's Flood, I just assumed they were able to infect uninfected corpses in this game, and I don't think they can. I didn't see it in my playthrough, and I've seen zero clear footage of it online, which you'd think they have for marketing if that was in the game. The Flood AI is less advanced in this game than Halo 3, which came out 19 years ago. LMAO. These guys aren't exactly the brightest. Hunters versus tank forms. This is like one of those Halo AI battles on YouTube that 10-year-olds watch. Despite the jank, make no mistake, I was having fun playing this level. I think this remake gets a lot better once the Flood show up, in contrast to the original where the first half is generally seen as better. It's gonna be awesome when speedrunners figure out how to get the Banshee past this door. The last part of the level is pretty butchered. They give you a ghost immediately rather than you having to navigate through a big Flood versus Covenant fight to get one, and the music track, Under Cover of Night, doesn't play. In the OG, that song in this section is one of the best music cues in the entire game. At the final part, I just rocketed the race and took a few minutes cleaning up everyone else in my ghost. I abbreviated it a lot, but that was the longest level for me in the game at 1 hour and 22 minutes. I'm glad they left this in. Keys is actually my least favorite level from the original. I'm not gonna go into detail why though, because I'm lazy. Pretty funny, in the OG, this grunt gets chased by a Flood with no arms. Here it's by a tank. What's less funny is that he chases you next. I was happy to find a shotgun almost immediately though. Another change I actually like is this not being a cutscene. I think it's cool to have the POV of falling out of the ship. Why is there only like 2 feet of green stuff? For me, this was the hardest mission in the entire game, mostly because of this entire outdoor extravaganza, especially the part where I kept getting killed by a guy with a fuel rod gun, and the battle to get back inside the ship, but up, and away we go. I probably should have grabbed a sword, but I like my shotgun. I killed an elite who had a needle rifle, which I did pick up. I had no idea they were in the base campaign. I thought this was a bonus mission only weapon. It was pretty good. I like shooting the Covenant with it, but I didn't keep it for long. I'm happy to report that you can use the fuel rod yourself in this game. This level is significantly shorter than the previous two in both this game and the original, and before I knew it, I was outside the bridge for another tough fight with tons of both elites and Flood. But based on the removal of lots of long-lasting enemy spawners earlier in the mission, I was pretty sure I could just take my time and slowly kill all the enemies rather than having to rush, and I was correct. This level is much more chill with the Flood environment stuff, making the bridge reveal that much more impactful, although I hate that the cutscene immediately starts instead of me being able to walk to keys myself. Master Chief does something that may or may not get this video demonetized, job application jump scare, and upcoming is a fight that I expected to suck because it sucks in the original. This room gets filled with Flood and there are Spec Ops Covenant waiting for me in the hallway. It's over, Johnny. Upon respawning, I tried my hand at rushing them and killing as many as I could, then running in this back room where there was a tank. I ran back out and on my way opened the door to the hall to hopefully get the Covenant and Flood to start fighting. I didn't get to see any of it because I was hiding in the back, but based on the dead bodies, I would say this worked. I've done 0 speedrun tricks this playthrough, but I wanted to try something here that works in the OG. Well, that was easy. Last level time. The Pillar of Autumn is pretty one-to-one with the OG, and this level is no different with one giant exception. Point being, I was very comfortable playing the game at this point and knew the layout of all this like the back of my hand, so I fought my way to the bridge with no problems.
You must be trying to take the core offline. Even if I could get the countdown restarted, I don't know what to do.
The direction is so bad, dude. Jen Taylor is so much better than this. I continued mostly breezing through, this time with a couple deaths while rushing a hallway. They moved the armory so that you have to go through it to get to engineering. Let's blow up some reactors, and I don't mean the YouTube kind. At first, I was going to the left side of the reactor room, like we do in the speedrun on the OG. The problem being that the Sentinels spawn in really fast, and there's no cover on this side. The right side, though, takes you right upstairs. Instead of big vent flaps, you now have to shoot into a hole on each of the 4 reactors. If you're in danger, you can escape the Sentinels wherever they are by just running to the opposite 2 reactors, and after taking care of them, I could finish off the reactors. Time to leave the ship. I know the original Warthog run way too well. I've done it hundreds of times, so this I liked, but I'm not sure if it's actually good or if I was just happy to do something that I don't have memorized. I waved goodbye to Foehammer, talked to a thirsty grunt, and it wouldn't be a Maw Warthog run without doing a 360.
Jump!
I'm gonna have to work on that. I've successfully beaten Campaign Evolved on Legendary. Let's sum up my thoughts. First though, there are 3 bonus missions. I didn't play those. I just wanted to do the remade levels for this video. If there's demand, I'll do a second video or live stream or something of them. I didn't want to play them. Anyway, thoughts on the game? Make no mistake, I had fun. There are a lot of annoying things that add up over the course of the game that you can call nitpicks, but when there's 1,000 of them, that adds up. For me, I think the cutscenes are awful. The voice acting is bad in them and outside of them, especially from Cortana. Not Jen Taylor's fault. I think the direction was probably terrible. I hate the hand-holding. I think it's insulting and bad for new players. The gameplay was fun, but it's not as good as the originals. I do think it gets a lot better from 343 on. I was much more positive on the second half of the game, and I had a lot more fun in the second half of the game. I love the redesign on Library, and I think that level was legitimately really good. I played through this campaign in one day, about 9 hours, and I enjoyed myself overall. It didn't feel like it was taking a long time. It was fun. Would I recommend it? Probably not. If I wasn't a YouTuber, I would wait for it to go on sale, unless you just love the 343 campaigns, and you'll probably love this, but it's a mixed bag. I wouldn't be happy if I wasn't a YouTuber and I spent $50 or $70 on it. If I had to give it a rating, I would probably say an orange frog. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out some of my other stuff, including the video on screen. I have a lot of Halo videos. Shout out to my patrons like always. Consider becoming one yourself. I'll catch you next time.